All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome from all across the world. If you can hear me, both on Clubhouse and also if you can hear me clearly on I'm so to be with all of you. Sorry, a little bit of distraction here and there. Trying to fix things up. I'm trying to drop them here on Telegram. Kindly be aware that this particular shrine session is also being broadcasted live on our YouTube channel for record purpose. So you may want to share sensitive information only under anonymous, but be free to talk. Everyone is expected to say one or two things. We are witness of how it has been in the recent past. I will be doing a sort of experiment by inviting one or two folks from Clubhouse to talk so that we'll be aware that they are following us effectively. Also, we have delegated someone who is going to be doing the opening Iwure for us here. Kindly mute your, please, people in Clubhouse, mute your microphone until you are asked to talk. Thank you. All right, so who is the person who is supposed to open for us? All right, reading writer. Go ahead and please start.
All right. Greetings of the day to all the Orishas. Okay, we start first by paying homage. So we pay homage. Ashiba Odo to Mary. Iba Koda, Iba Sheda, Iba Tiyo Ojo, Iba Tiwo Oòrùn. Ashiba Olùmílà ẹlẹ́rìn ìpín. Iba ilẹ̀ ọ̀gẹ́rẹ́ àkọ́kọ́yẹrí. Àṣèbà ìyúnmọlẹ̀ ojúkọ̀tún, àṣèbà àwọn ìyá mi àjẹ́ arúgbó aṣọ má balẹ̀, àṣèbà ìbà gbogbo òrìṣà ìbà. Yes. All right. So we go into positive decrees. I would like to employ everyone, all the orishas, to say Ashe as we decree positive. Okay? Orí pẹ̀lẹ́ o, àti tètè níwọ̀n, àti tè ẹnu kò ṣà. Kò sóòṣà tí dá ní gbé, kò sóòṣà tí dá ní gbé lẹ́yìn orí ẹni. Orí apẹ̀ ọ́ o, orí jàre dákun, dábọ̀ fi èdè nú, fi èdè sàlẹ̀ ìkùn. Má jẹ́ káwa rí ibi láyé o, àṣẹ. Má jẹ́ kí ibi àrùn ṣe wá o, àṣẹ. Má jẹ́ káwa rí ibi òfo, àṣẹ. Orí jàre dákun, dábọ̀ fi èdè nú, fi èdè sàlẹ̀ ìkùn. Iṣẹ́ àwa yìn wá o, àṣẹ. Káwa má gbèrò ẹ̀yìn láyé o, àṣẹ. Orí pẹ̀lẹ́ o, abániwáyé má ṣe gbàgbé. Ìwọ náà la sì wá ní ayé. Orí ẹja lẹja fi ń labú já. Orí tí ń ṣòwò àṣejèrè ẹyẹ kì í fò kó forí sọgi jàre fi èdè nú orí àwa jàre má gbàbọdé o
àṣẹ
àṣẹ orí àwa wá gbére kò wá o
àṣẹ
ìyàwó ya ibi
àṣẹ
ya ibi ìyàwó o
àṣẹ.
ẹ ṣeun.
àṣẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Thank you very much, Rhythm Rider, for that wonderful veneration, and also the awesome way you have given us a decree. And I am so excited that folks like you share the same dispensation with me. Please, if you are not talking correctly, kindly mute your microphone. If you are not talking correctly, good. If you are not talking correctly, thank you very much. Anyone who enters the room should mute their microphone automatically. Mute your microphone so that it doesn't get involved. I'm so happy that you are able to do what you did. However, you did it in Yoruba language, and we have other folks who also are not of this particular race. So we would surely just go ahead and interpret for them. What our opener said was simply venerating our divinity as Orisha, talking to our Ori, speaking and telling it to be at peace with us, saying, our Ori, we plead to you, do not be an antagonist against us. Our Ori, we plead to you, do not put us in trouble, willingly or unwillingly. Our Ori, we speak to you and plead, do not lead us into temptation that will be overwhelming for us. Our Ori, we plead to you that you will not get us involved in things that will cut short our lifespan, because it is with the head that fishes swim in the ocean. May we swim to the place of our greatness. It is with the head that every wild beast navigate through the forest. May we navigate through this plane of life. It is with the head that someone is chosen to be the king or the leader of others. May our own Ori also choose us to be leaders in our respective areas. It is with the head that someone is bowed to, respected, listened to. May our Ori push us to the place where the world will hear our voice. Ashe. Thank you very much again for joining this particular shrine session. We call it shrine session because shrine is where one or two Orisha gather together, either in form of fellowship or to speak their mind to one another. Here is what I want you to know. While I'm alive, I'm saying this. If I'm dead, you can continue with this. That no one is an island of either knowledge, wealth, direction, spirituality. We must learn from one another. As long as this learning is not coming from those who invaded us, we must strive to always go back to the ways of the ancestors and refine it to meet our current dispensation, and also will it over to our children. The best way we can do that is to create deliberation around it, is to talk about it, and also ensure that everyone is able to air their opinion. Since we agree that we are not going to be having a church kind of setting, so doctrines don't come where people are tampered with, and then people begin to say, okay, this is the way we have to do it and all. So somebody do not say, okay, I'm receding, I'm seceding, I'm doing that. We have said spirituality is about personal knowledge of self. However, we could have one or two in common and also share with one another. But in the process of trying to ensure that our spirituality become a legacy we are willing over to our children, we must also know that the new awakening and this wildfire of African spirituality in quote and unquote that is spreading across the continent and beyond the Alkebula as a continent is fast becoming almost a trend now. It's almost becoming a trend now. A trend is such a manner that some people think it's a fashionable trend to identify with African spirituality. Some think it's just a thing that they can cash out on, just let's chase clout and cash out on it. And a lot of people are doing it for their own personal gain, while few, microscopic few people are actually pursuing African spirituality as a way to revive the prowess, the might, and also the researches and invention of our ancestors while trying to build on it, especially by directing each man to himself. We said, let us debate today. During the week in our Telegram shrine, a lot of discourse came up, and we started talking about folks in diaspora who are actually embracing African spirituality because there's something in it for them. And the person of Beyonce was mentioned, which caught my own notice. And a lot of people are of the opinion that she has truly embraced African spirituality, especially the Orisha, Oshun Shengeshe, Oluyayo, Awemewede. And someone said something that it was in the known that she codedly went to Oshun for initiation. So I decided not to say a word in it. I am wondering why you must codedly do something you are proud of if you are serious about it at all. Now, I've seen a lot of people who practice African spirituality by regalia, by costumes, by accessories. People think when they flash cowries in their hair, in their neck, in their waist, or whatever, that is African spirituality. And so a lot of people are easily just being drawn to them. People think when you have the little crown of the sun on your head, combining Cleopatra of the Greek people to some other indigenous Orisha here, then you are practicing African spirituality. And I felt if care is not taken, we will put our pearls before the pig and everything will become muddy. I felt if we need to build a house, why don't you just go scraping the sky? And to scrape the sky, why not take the pain of building a great foundation so that our foundation don't be on lie lie, lori iro. However, this seems to be what I see on the internet today. Everybody starting a channel, everybody starting a shrine, everybody doing this and that, and the Brazilian folks, the Latino folks, the diaspora, the African American diaspora, a lot of them who know nothing about Orisha and the way of it felt like if they dress in a certain way, talk in a certain way, then they are practicing African spirituality. And I saw some people are using it as a way to suppress anger or to also get back at the slave master. One thing I want to say is that the moment you allow anger get in your heart, what you are practicing is no more African spirituality. That's one thing I want us to know. If the reason why you embrace this is because somebody hurt you where you're coming from, I bet it is the nature of human being to hurt one another. If the reason why you left church or mosque is because your pastor did this and that to you, I'm telling you the truth, human nature is volatile, very unpredictable, very unreliable. But if you read your way out of those religions into this place, there are some things you'll be able to notice. There will be a red flag if someone is using the method of the invaders to practice African spirituality for you. And then you will be able to tell yourself that I will not become a slave again. That's the purpose of tonight's shrine session. And I would personally love if we can start talking about how can we curb the menaces that comes with African spirituality. How can we go ahead and curb the menaces? As a matter of fact, What are the menaces that you have experienced practicing African spirituality? Let's start from that. Last week we spoke about the things you've been through in the hand of the invaders and their religion. So today let's see, we'll talk to ourselves. This is a family meeting. What are the menaces you have been through while you embrace African spirituality? Either before you knew someone like me or not. If you have a word to say, you can go ahead. And for this session, I would like Z. Is Z there? Zeno?
Yeah, I'm right here.
All right, please. I know you can really help me with this. For this particular session, what people have been through, the menaces they have encountered, we just want to talk about the menaces. We will talk about how we can cope it later. You can help us just coordinate. Those who want to talk, those who have experience about African spirituality and the menaces, can go ahead and start talking about it. It's over to you.
Okay. Good evening, house, and it's lovely to have you to be gathered here at the shrine tonight. Please indicate in the chat that you'd like to speak. Fastest fingers is whoever I see first that I will invite to the mic, and then I'll take note and make a list and update the list as each person speaks. We'll see how timing goes, but this is an opportunity that a number of people will want to speak. So try not to wax on too long when it's your time to speak. So I will be looking through the chat to see who wants to speak. Okay. So is there anyone who would like to step up and say something? Anyone at all? We're very quiet tonight. Or am I just not seeing anyone raising their hand? Okay, then I'll go. Maybe I need to open the floor. Oh, okay. Is that Jason? Jason? I see your hand up. You saved me some time to speak. So, Jason, if you could please come off of mute, unmute yourself, and take over. It's your time.
Thanks, all. Good evening, all. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. So, with African spirituality, I grew up in Nigeria. So, growing up, we had been involved with African spirituality. Obviously, my parents were low key about it. So they weren't. So before they became born again, they used to, visit babalawos in different parts of Nigeria. But the experience I want to draw on more is a sibling that was in England and somehow got involved with someone that claims to be a babalawo, and it was a very dreadful, unpleasant experience. They were taking his wages. It was dreadful. And the bottom line, it was so bad that he had to leave England and rebuild himself back home. So with that, I think that then for a long time made me wary of engaging in African spirituality. So really taking my time to ensure that I found somewhere that I was sure what happened to my brother wasn't going to happen to me. That's one. And growing up as a child, we had experiences. I can't really say if they were. I can't really say if they were that negative, because I was a lot of the time I was maybe young, pre-teenage, but I had that experience, and they kept going from one to the other until they finally became born again Christians, my parents. And I think what also didn't help is, so I'm not putting that out, is when they became born again Christians, things really improved for them. So that message you get is that, oh, this is the way. And I think that's why a lot of our people abandon spirituality eventually. But yeah, I just wanted to share that bad experience that my brother had. So that made me wary for a long time. But with time, I've been blessed to be led back home.
Thank you, Jason, for that. Did I say your name correctly? How do I say it?
Yes, this is common name, European Jason name.
Okay, because it's spelled differently. Thank you, Jason, for sharing that. I will now invite Stephen with PH to come to the mic and share the experiences you may have encountered that probably weren't very warm and fuzzy. Stephen, can you hear me? My name is Stephen Donnie Joe.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I can hear you, please.
Good evening. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate for the opportunity given to me this evening. One of my experience, though there are so many, let me use this very last week, for instance. I was born in a Christian home, and along the line, because of the way we have been brought up, you must go to church. If you don't go to church, we have an issue with your parent. So with that zealousness, I was becoming one of the Sunday school teachers. So after I grown up, with that zeal in me, whenever I always speak about these invaders, what they believe as in Christ. So until I come across a great man, which really opened my eyes to a lot of things that really helped me in one way or the other. So with that zeal I have when I was Christian, I began to always tell people, especially in my office. Last week here, I was talking to a customer about as in you yourself are the God that you're looking for. So when I started to explain to him that there's not any God in the sky and every other thing, there's a woman that is so close to him too. When he discovered what I'm saying, he quickly called that customer and said, this one of them, Satan 666, mark of the beast. So I laughed. When I thought of that, I really felt bad because I know these religious things are eating so deep in Africa that even when you're telling them the gospel truth, they find it difficult to believe because this thing have eaten them so much that even though when you give them instances, they find it difficult to believe. That's one of it. The other one was when one of my elder sister had a challenge in Europe. We went several places just for isolation. And we were being directed to the Babalawo, which told us to bring one thing or the other, a lot of money. Along the line, nothing happened. They were just collecting money and so on. So when I started now explaining this new faith to this, my very sister, it was now referring back to that time. I let her know that, come, we are doing things out of ignorance then. But now, I want you to join this very platform so that at least you can gain more knowledge with time. She will be part of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen. That was amazing. I just wanted to say also that, you were with us last week. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
Okay. And what was your journey before you came across about your birth again? What were you practicing any specific religion, or were you always sort of?
I'm a Christian.
Okay.
I met Baba Yuba.
Okay.
In fact, I'm a Sunday school teacher.
Wow.
So I know a lot of things. Even I always challenge you whenever I teach, because along the line, I always call to the office to always be questioned that why will you be preaching this kind of thing? Because from beginning, my message is always different from what they really believe. So I discovered that I have this African things in me from beginning, as in this belief from my foundation. So whenever I'm teaching, I always bring this information into my message, which along the way they will come into the office. Why will you be saying this kind of things in the church or something like that? But I always let them know that. But this is not the simple truth. So that's really been a challenge too, until I come across Baba Yuba and really open my eyes and really make me to have my stand in this very faith.
That's wonderful. They say you either stand for something or fall for anything. So that's a wonderful position to be in. And thank you for already being an emancipator, even being in a hostile environment. That's very brave. You must pat yourself on the back for that. And I want to say, would you say they made it easy for you to transition? Because some people, even now, they still say it is well. God will do it. It slips out because of habit. If you've been doing something for 3 to 4 decades, and then now you're like, okay, I need to break away. Would you say it was a simpler transition for you because you were already a secret rebel in Christianity?
Please come again, please.
Would you say that for you it was a lot easier to transition into the practicing Christianity? Because it seems like you were emancipating the Sunday school students, and that's why you were being remanded often.
Actually, at least, as I've said earlier, it's a very great opportunity for me to come across a great man, Baba Yuba. So I never regret it, and I'm so happy to be part of this family.
Right, Z.
We're happy to
Hello, Z. Sorry for the intrusion. We have some other people also here on our clubhouse, and I'd like to make an announcement that if you want to say anything, just let me know. Just raise your hand if you have anything to say on the clubhouse, and we will bring you in. Can we? Sorry, Z. Hold on, please. Can we have Patrick from clubhouse? If you can hear, sorry, before Patrick come on, Z, help me monitor Telegram. If you can hear what Patrick is saying from Clubhouse, let me know. All right, Patrick, please go ahead.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. How you doing?
hello.
Hello. How you doing? I'm Orishas, Baba.
What you say?
Well, I was going to talk about my personal experiences growing up with African spirituality. My great grandfather was a Ifa priest in Ijesha. I remember growing up, he was my cousin and I. My grandmother would take us to Ijesha to see Baba before he passed. So every time we go to Ijesha, he would have the vision in the back, like in the back of our head, with some dark sauce, some dark substance. I don't know what that is in Yoruba. And every time I would get back to Lagos and I would tell my mom, and my mom was like, it kind of like, it was kind of like a problem between my mother and my grandmother. My grandmother is my dad's mom, so that's not her mother. So she was opposed to that. And I remember when Baba died, everything in the family just kind of really changed. And Christianity was kind of embraced. It was embraced so much that African spirituality pretty much. Fast forward, this was in Nigeria, so fast forward now, this is like 30 some years ago. I want to tell you guys a quick story. Last week, okay, so I have a daughter. My daughter's 16. She's about to be 17. So I picked her up, we went, Dad, I want to talk to you about something. I said, what's the problem? She's like, do you believe in God? And I kept quiet and I looked at her. I said, which one? She said, because I'm not a Christian and that I've been meaning to tell you I'm not a Christian. I'm like, okay, why? She said, because I've been doing research and I find, Christianity to be a scam. This is a 16-year-old that's talking to me. And everything that I'm serious, everything that she was saying was like, whoa. And it just kind of really hit me that the time is now. We need to start talking to our kids. She knows more than I do. She said there's no God in heaven. Nowhere. And she kept telling her own personal experiences, saying, I've been able to tell you, but I didn't want to tell you because I know how you feel. I started going to church 10 years ago, but I didn't embrace African spirituality. I just had questions. A lot of things just weren't the same. So we were exchanging, our experiences. And that felt so good. This felt powerful. And this was after I had a private session with Papa. So I'm like, is there something else on me for her to bring up that conversation to tell me, well, Dad, I don't believe in God. So I was like, okay, what do you think about our roots? Everything about African spirituality. She was the one telling me about African spirituality. This is a 16-year-old. She didn't grow up in Nigeria. She grew up here. So I just want people to know the time is now. The wait is now. These kids, they know. They understand. They might not want to talk to you because of the whole stigma of, everything we do is demonic. So please, let's talk to our kids. Let's get the train going. The time is now. It is now. Me personally, I'm ready to face the consequences of what my family thinks. The only person that knows now is my sister. And guess what I found out? True story. I found out my father actually has a babalawo in Otokuni. No, I kid you not. My dad has a babalawo in Otokuni. Because I left him a long time ago. So it was a conversation between my dad and my sister and my mom. Because my mother was supposed to go to the babalawo to do something or pick up something from, and my mother refused. So it was a fight at home. And I didn't even know this. Wow. I was very proud. I called my dad, and everything has been happening for the last month now. And I called and I told my dad. My dad said yes. So this April, he's like, come with me to Nigeria. We're going to go see. I was like, I already have my own babalawo, but just seeing my dad talk about that, the only person that I need to comfort now is my mom. Because my mom is so deep in religion that she's lost herself. She really lost herself. But you know what? Let's forget about the older people. Let's concentrate more on the younger ones. The time is now. Because you might think they don't know. They understand. They understand, especially with this new trend. But we just want to guide them in the right way. Like Baba said, do not join African spirituality because you're hurt. Join it because this is the right thing to do. This is who we are. That's all I have to say. Thank you, Alice.
Thank you very much, Patrick. You started sounding like Franklin somewhere there. Are you an emancipator too? It seems as if I have a lot of you in my corner. All right.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Z.
Good evening, everyone.
Oh, someone, Bashi, please hold on. Bashi, hello, Bashi. Hello, Bashi. Please hold on. I'll call you. We need to take someone from Telegram. I'll get back to you, Bashi. Just hold on, please.
All right. All right.
All right. Over to you, Z.
Okay. And so that was quite revelatory from Patrick. The next one to you is, I hope I'm saying this correctly, J.I. J.I., you had your hand raised. You are first on the queue. Would you like to step up and share your experience?
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, J.I. Go for it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joyce. It's just mine is just gonna be a quick one. I'm gonna make it as quick as possible, and I don't know if it's really relevant, but it's regarding the divination. You know, the one that was posted on the platform about a few days ago about the Ifa divination, and we were left an instruction on what to do. So I just want to share my experience quickly. Also, the reason I want to share my experience is it's not like I'm seeking for any validation or anything, because I already know that I'm on the right path, because I grew up in I think early enough. I'm in my 50s now anyway, so I would say I'm one of the I was really fortunate to grow up experiencing both sides of the African spirituality and also the invaders religion, which is Christianity. Because my mom, she's a very strong believer in our African traditional way of worshiping, and my father is a pastor. Okay, so I grew up experiencing both ways, both the African spirituality and the Western religion, you know. But as I age, I was able to make an informed decision, because I sort of knew that the best way for me to kind of because what I as a young child, I experienced I had aunts and uncles who were also pastors as well, and who were also strong believers in the Asian religion. Kind of way they treated us and the love we felt from them, compared to the love I felt from my aunties and uncles from my mom's side, was so different. So I was able to see lots of hypocrisy going on. So I just decided that, you know what, I would rather stick with my mom's way of worshiping and spirituality, and I've always done that. Although I left home as well when I was at an early age, coming to Europe. So being in abroad as well, I sort of find myself, every community I found myself was community that, like going to church, worshiping was always the 80s, sort of always been to church. But for the past 2 3 years, I haven't been to church. I stopped being to church because hypocrisy was just too much. And I said, you know what? Because once you are past your 40s, especially when you get to my age, really, you want to please yourself now. You just really don't want to care what people think or say about you. When you get to a certain age, I came to know that. I knew that with experience. So I just wanted to, what? I knew my African religion was the right thing. I was on the right path. But what I knew something was lacking. So I was quite, and that was the past 3 years. I was sort of feeling a bit empty. Knowing something was empty, something was missing, but I didn't really know until I came across Baba Yoba in Franklin platform when it was introduced to speak on Franklin platform. That was true that maybe nearly 2 months now. And I quickly joined, and since that it has been a wonderful experience. I was like, yes, that is it. This is what I'm looking for. The reason being is that because that thing that I felt that was missing was that I needed some more knowledge. I have children. I have a boy who is nearly 3 years old and another girl who is 6 years old. But I have never imposed any religion on them because like I said, my boy is there with me. He's growing up. He's already 3 years old. I just felt that imposing the Vedic religion on him was not the right thing to do. I didn't really know why. I wanted him to sort of, because I kept telling him, I speak with him, we speak and talk together as adults. He's sort of kind of leaning towards being an atheist, but I know he's not, you know. But I knew he's seeking something, but I couldn't help him as a parent because I really didn't have that deep knowledge of convincing him to follow me in my African spirituality. But joining Baba Yoba platform, joining this platform, I'm sort of coming across a lot of information, lot of knowledge and wisdom, which I'm taking in myself and I'm beginning to pass on to him the last couple of days. So I would say mine, joining this platform, mine is a way of seeking knowledge and wisdom, and I believe I will find it here. You know, especially like through the courses that has been put up, the master courses. I am definitely, as soon as I'm opportune and my financial situation has improved, I am definitely joining that course. I know that nothing is never too late, and I've also made up my mind. But I don't know what the fight is going to say I'm going to be. But I am already deciding that I'm not just going to learn it. I'm not just going to finish that masterclass. I'm going to go further. I want, according to what Baba Yuda said, that if you know you are not going to use the in the teach or to impact on people, there's no way being an teacher. And because due to my mother, like I said, I followed the African spirituality. My mom, she was through my mom. I was able to, I got an impact as well, but one is being done by my mom. She's an doing all that. But I want to know more. I want my journey to be improved, to know how to do things, to know how to use impact to help people as well. So that is my son. Then coming to my recent experience with the message that was posted on the platform a few days ago. I just want to use this aspect to encourage people who are on the platform and who are new to the ways of life. I just want to use this to encourage you. A few days ago, that was, it was on Thursday, I received a letter. But before that, a few weeks back, I woke up with a strong feeling that I needed to consult IFA to have a divination. I got in contact through the WhatsApp platform. I got in contact with Baba Yoba, and the automated message told me what to do, and I followed it. But getting to the place to pay, I found out that the money to pay for the divination was a bit out of my budget right now. So I put it in my mind. I said, you know what? This is the first thing I'm going to do in the next couple of weeks as soon as I have the money. So I put that. I know that I needed to consult IFA. So I put it there. It was in the burner. I'm just thinking, working towards as soon as I have a free money in the next couple of weeks, I will make that payment and I will do consultation, divination. Oh, unbeknownst to me, like on Thursday, letter came and said I owe some money. And I look at this letter. My name is on it, but I can't remember. I've never lived in that address. It's nearly £4,000. And I know it seems like an ongoing issue. People keep calling me, I owe money. I said, I've never. So I called that number and I said to them, I need more details. And they sent more details to me. I found out that it was a very close friend of mine who has used my name as a tenant in her house, and she left bills there. And this thing was taken to court, and now I'm being pursued by the court for my pay about £4,000. So I was like, oh my God. I was still thinking what to do. Come Friday morning, I saw this message posted on the platform saying that we have to do a certain divination because IFA and Mandela will do it because of what is going on. If everybody, you can please all go back there so that I don't take much time. What is going on is like, you not being accused unjustly. So when I saw it, I laughed. I said, thanks to the universe, So I just want to use this to encourage us that, when you are in these ways of life, truth will always come to you, light will always come to you, and you will always be guided right. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce, for that beautiful message. There was such passion and your commitment to this new journey. May the universe guide and support you. May all your Orishas, our energies, guide and support you. And above all, for that beautiful testimony. So that, this is really encouraging for people who are new to this, and for those who have sort of still got their 1 foot on one in and 1 foot out. This is not just, we're not here in England, we say clashing about. This is the real deal. So because you've committed to it, look at what you're reaping already. The truth is seeking you out. Very well done. I'm going to take the Emancipator. Franklin, you're next on the queue. Step up when you're ready.
I see. Can you hear me?
Clear.
Thanks for having me. So, yeah, for me, coming up as a youngin, well, similar to a lot of people's stories, I grew up, I was raised, grew up for like 2 years as a Christian. I, even as a young, I never, I was telling my wife this, I never really liked it. I grew up in church, I can sing, naturally gifted singer. So I was forced to be in the choir and things like that. I just it never resonated with me. But you can imagine, a young in an African home, I was the only child for many years before my younger brother was born years later. So, very tough mom, you know, and I remember how I would go with my parents from, for example, there's a particular Pentecostal church that we are attending. You would look at it like, okay, is this place not enough? We're already waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning for morning devotion, evening for choir practice, blah, 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 for drama, for this, and all those, round the clock type thing every week. And then suddenly they would say, there's another prophet, or you're a long colleague somewhere in Ibadan there, bang, he's the hottest prophet in town. And all these crazy rituals, 20 red candles, you have to eat coconut without water, all sorts of, silly stuff. My dad was always the both are still alive. My dad's always been the one that kind of panicked a little bit, that would sort of run away, get a bit too afraid. And like they say in Yoruba language, like, I just watched my parents like jump from church to church. And I remember as a youngin, my main point is, I would always think in my head that what kind of problems do we have that we have to jump from church A to B to that denomination? And talking of African spirituality, I remember that one of the main things that shaped my thought process during my formative years as a young child was, of course, what we know today as the wrongful depiction of African spirituality by particularly platforms like Nollywood, right? So, as a child, you're watching all these Ayama Tanga and all these Fadi Yolo, Abijawara, and all these, age-old, what we now call classic dramas today, a lot of misrepresentation. And bear in mind, most of these things are scripted. Some of them might have been done that way to deliberately mislead the wider public and all that. And I remember scenarios being around my parents where as soon as you see someone, particularly my own mom, you hear anything to do with like go to a part of the band or in families and stuff, and you see like traditional, worshippers and stuff. I liked it as a kid. I resonated with it. I was curious to know more, but they shut that down faster than the speed of light. It was instantaneously labeled as being toxic, being demonic, being like something you shouldn't align with, whatever the case may be. So you grew up, the minds of a child particularly is like a sponge. You soak up these things. And that's pretty much the story for the kid coming up. Because anything you hear, Babala, will just hear the key words, will think, oh, whoa, this person is a demon. This is that. So we didn't get the chance to know that this is who God is, indigenous, all that. And I working for me, even as a young, I would always ask myself so far. Anytime I had a one-on-one with my dad is an because it's late by nature. But anytime just my observation over the years, in England, so for example, we met, let's say we talked about Yoruba. So I was talking with my dad.
dedication that goes on behind the scenes. It's cool now that everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. Like he said himself, people want to cash out, cloud chasing, and all that. This is a way of life. And particularly for me, what I wanted to say is we shouldn't be afraid or ashamed to walk down this pathway. The fundamental problem that we have in our society, which comes from brainwashing and mental conditioning, is people gravitate towards this pathway when they have problems, when they want to get something sorted, but they want to do it behind closed doors, and then still use the invaders' religion in front end to destroy the same thing in the open and say, oh, it's demonic. So even me being a content creator, I've had people that send me email, I've called me demonic. I'm telling you, man, people that have called me, somebody actually, it's interesting, there was somebody that came, when Baba Yoba came on my channel, and then the first time, talking about the Yoruba deity, African spirituality, the first time I brought Baba Yoba on, they called me loser. Somebody said, oh, I knew it. Judging by the size of your glasses, one would know you're demonic. I'm thinking, what? How does my glasses show that I'm, typical Nigerian people, right? They called me all sorts of names. They bombarded my inbox. They did all sorts. I was looking at them. I disregarded. Next video, I brought Baba Yoba. I am unapologetic is what I'm saying. I don't give a stuff. I don't care about opinions. And I'm not doing this for self-aggrandizement because I want somebody to give me a thumb up. It's a choice. And I'm imploring, I'm saying it respectfully if you're listening to me. Please end the same to walk down this pathway with confidence. Baba Yoba has shared his own personal experience. For those that have been listening for a minute, he has lost friends, old friends. He has lost connections. He has lost businesses. It's not, those things are not a joke, because it can actually destabilize you mentally if you're not strong enough. People try to label you as if you're some kind of toxic person. It's a lie. It's because you are not conforming to what they want your reality to be. And the moment you exist outside the box and you don't bend to people's rules, they will do everything to tear you down. So I'm just hoping we can all learn. Walk this pathway. Don't join this because it's cool. You want a quick fix under, behind the door. Hey, Baba Yoba. Hey, Baba Yoba. I want to divination and clear. We check this. Once you gain all clear, things kind of like go back to normal. You want to run back to your invaders religion. I think it's a major slap in this pathway of life. There should be sanctions whereby if you cannot align and do it properly, or you're not here for real, go away. Some people try to come on here. They've attempted to try to hijack the platform to be apologizers for, mouthpieces for invaders' religion. These people are mentally conditioned, and it's been dealt with. And I always say it, no, you can't mix both. I respect freedom of speech, freedom of expression, free will. If you want to go do that, feel free, by all means. But if you want to walk down this pathway, I believe that the universe will connect in our favor, and we will all do well in life. So for me, I'm on the pathway of discovery. I come from a family where it's interesting, like that brother, Mr. Patrick said earlier, I love your energy, shout out to you, Some of the people in my own family, I'll say this and I'll let somebody else come up. When I talk about African spirituality, I have people in my extended family that they will look at you, they have all these funny facial expressions like, oh, God, to make you think you're doing something wrong. But guess what? I then started to uncover that a lot of these people underground, they are well grounded. They have their own babalawos. They've been in this journey before I even discovered it. So who is fooling who? Some people are so selfish that they would love to keep it to themselves, that they don't want you to discover. So it's just the way the society is wired. So that's my piece. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Franklin. I trust you to keep it 150% all the time. You heard him. It's okay to take your time transitioning, but you get from it whatever you put in. And if you've been lied to, rated, cheated, why would you hang on to that? We have to question ourselves and what we're doing. It's really important because in the indigenous faith of Africa, you have to be accountable and be responsible. Things like grace and, of course, be merciful, but things like grace and all this forgiveness that the sky God will give you. There's none of that here. In all honesty, there's nothing. So what you make of it, and you can't be distracting other people if you're confused. Just understand that. So I'm gonna ask. I believe Baba Yoba, you had raised your hand. Did you want to speak now or at the end of the session?
Yeah, I'd just like to speak briefly now.
Okay. Thank you, Frank. Over to you, sir.
All right, thank you very much, Z, for that skill of coordination. We want to apologize to those who are listening to us both on Clubhouse and also on YouTube. If the sound is not so high, I'm using a very, 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 let me just, it's an analog phone to phone and all. But don't worry, we'll find a better way. All right, so we're talking about the menaces of African spirituality. And I would really love that if I stop talking, I would love us to go into the next actually ask me. But I want to say my sister, I'm like your sister. How? Okay, I'm going to read the message to you. Everybody, how are you today? I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
They took me to my grandma and took me somewhere. I could remember for 3 days I stayed in a very smelly blackboard better. Then I remember again at 10 years when I was struck with, I don't know what happened. I couldn't walk. So I was given, my dad was given something to be basically with a spiritualist lady that came every night and they would take me under a plantain tree to bathe me. At think on the 7th day, I mean on the 6th day, I started walking, and ever since then, I've not had any illness. But what I'm trying to say is that growing up in that same Christian home, I realized that their prayer and their fasting, we fasted a lot, we prayed a lot. But my parents are quite laid back, you know. So, but they will always invite somebody to pray and bring gold, everything, so many things. Then when I came over to London, it was like my mom, she was so passionate about it. She would send money to people that would go to the mountain to do all stuff. So I decided to like say, I'm a grown woman, I have my own family. Don't give my name out to those people anymore. I will do my own stuff. But I found myself like praying and doing everything when I graduated from uni. I was 7 months pregnant with my second child. I've always had a good work. My first job was in school, and the school trained me, and I became a funny teacher. I won't last. There was always something panic. People were always judging my courage and everything. I went into rent car, so I didn't last. I left that job. I didn't even have another job. Then the next one I went to Camden, I work for Camden Council now. But it's been like from one good job to another, but I continued having panic attack. Then I started suffering from panic anxiety. Every day I'm praying, every day I'm fasting. It was through my friend, the coordinator, that she introduced me to a YouTube program with Frankie when he brought Baba Yuba on. Even at that, I was very skeptical because with my initiative with Baba Alawuza, like, oh, they're very fetish. No, they'll do me something wrong. But I found myself not like, even with the prayer and everything, I knew that was something about me. I needed a strong, I needed something else. I needed, because like my mind, I have a gift of telling dream, and every time I'm saying it's happened. So I started afterwards when she brought me, I went back on my own. And I listened to him. And I called her and I said to her, this is different. This guy is different. I think I want to reach out to him. I want to learn more. I'm an Igbo, but I said, well, it's quite hard to decide lots of things that he says in Yoruba. But thank God he's saying, translate them, and it's easier to always help translate this to me. So, but ever since I've started, diving into it, because I study, I love to read it. My first degree is in social policy, politics and development. So I love to read it. So I started reading into it, and ever since I started going into it, I found myself at peace. As a Christian practicing the sky God, I would feel very guilty if I don't, pray, or I don't do certain things. And I have 2 boys. I'm not imposing anything on them. One parents don't impose anything on my kids. So, but I've been doing things with my youngest one, and even my big one that's in uni now. So, I started looking into it. I found that for the past almost 2 months now, I've not had my panic anxiety. At one place, I've been favored. Within 8 months, I went to campaign. I've been given another position. This page, they want me to make something. I'm like, oh wow, this is something. So I started, ever since I started looking into it, learning about he told me my enemy, which I now know what a sign. Then he told me my deity, which is, which I knew. When he told me, I knew that was me. So, but what I'm trying to say is that, how come the Christians, even your Christian home, if you're adopting it, you remember that even that as a Christian, your parents will invite people to come and do things. I've not thought about that this Christianity, like they said, is these invaders that came to me. I was talking to a friend. I speak up my truth, and I tell them, I don't believe in any God. I believe in the God of the universe. And I said to them, at the end of the day, you have to worship God. If you want to worship God as a Christian, if you want to, you have to ask spirituality into it, because you're not a white person. You're a Christian. There is something underneath it that you have to worship. You have to worship that your God and bringing in people to help you. So you might as well forget about what the white people has introduced to you and start worshiping your own God. So for me, it's been a blessing. But like Franklin said, I'm still baby step, and they say who was for me, because I'm unable by so I'm baby step. I'm just blessed, and see is my best friend, so she treats me a lot. So,
all right. Thank you very much, Izu Chika. Can you hear me clearly now, Z?
Absolutely, loud clear.
All right,
I think
so
we got all that.
okay,
Is
thank
there
you very much.
someone from Clubhouse?
Yeah,
Bring on?
yeah, Bashi, are you?
Okay.
Bashi is coming from Clubhouse. I don't know if he's still there. Bashi.
Yes, I'm still here.
All right,
I'm
please
still
go
here.
ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, so I actually just found something I quickly want.
Hello, Bashi, are you there?
Yes, can you hear?
I think we may have lost them through audio.
Oh, hello.
Hello,
Are you
Bashi.
there? Baba
Yes,
Yoba,
can
are
you hear
you
me?
there?
I'm here, Z, please.
Okay, great.
Oh, sorry.
So,
Hold on. I muted my own audio here, so that's why you guys are not hearing. All right, Bashi, please start over.
okay, good evening, everyone. I actually just have a very, like, just one thing I actually just want to clarify. It's has actually been on my head for a very long time now, and I still have been trying answers. And I feel this is a very good, a very good platform to find the answers to that. So, like 5 years ago, when I'm actually talking about family. Like, it's got this whole thing is not going to take your time. But like 5 years ago, when everything was actually not going fine for myself, my older brother, my younger sister, my mom, like, but she's actually a single mom, yeah. So we're three in the family, and like everything was actually not going well. My mom, she's trying off things, like trying to sell this one, that one, for a regular Nigerian mom, just trying to survive and then, provide for these three children. And eventually, like after going this one down and down, everywhere, like up and down, eventually we ended to a place in Ogun State, Aito. The place is called Ibaya in Aito. So on getting to the place, like there's this particular, I don't know what to call it, but it's called Obalai, that we are actually do some things like, this African spirituality we're all talking about also. As we actually have to do some things like, there's this person we met there. I really don't know the terms for everybody, but I know there's this woman we met there, she was actually the person, I think the right person to consult about, like, to actually, a kind of message, trying to get a message across for everybody. Like they just like consult about, like, to like get some things out for us, like, just for us to get solutions to what is happening. It's not like there's really a problem, but we're just like we've been finding it hard. Everybody in the family is working, my mom, myself, but everybody we're working really hard, but nothing is really happening. Like nothing is coming out at the end of the day. So after consulting this about, like, and everything, and like we're really happy with the like took us to the shrine. We had some baths, like soap, like different things, like a lot of things happened that day. Why we're taking the bath and everything, like a lot of things that I've never seen before, like none of us like I've never seen before, that was actually coming out from our body. Like a lot of things happened that day. A lot of things happened. So eventually, after all these things, that day, this woman, after the whole thing, she consulted about it, and then, they actually told every one of us, like four of us, that this is what we should be doing. Like I was actually told to continue, doing the kind of thing which is graphics designing. That is my work. Like I was told to continue doing. My older brother was told to also continue whatever. Like the whole thing with that, we just like boost what we've been doing. So blessings and every other thing can stand on. The only thing that I been finding very difficult to understand how this works is after the whole thing, when we're about to like stand up, like just go outside from the shrine or whatever, I don't know what to call from the shrine actually. Everybody that was there, like even the woman that the woman that actually was consulting about like at the end of the day, like in Jesus' name we pray. I was like, what? Why in the shrine? And then like all of a sudden after consultation, after everything, like
church. The whole setting doesn't look like a church setting. This is a shrine setting. Why? Where's the Jesus coming from? At that point, I was thinking of two things. Like, oh, it's like maybe these people that are kind of churchy, kind of maybe they're just using this to disguise one. But I still come to realize that no, this is a shrine. Like this is a shrine with everything we've been through. And these people that are actually like family to us. They're like third, fourth generation to us. Like this place in Bayana, I said, this place is actually a place that we don't go there often. So it's like just once in a while. Even my mom that remember that place at that point.
Right. So your conclusion is why they had to go back to Jesus.
Exactly. Why would you say like you want Jesus? Like I don't at that point I don't really understand what happened. So like I feel like that's actually
all right. Thank you. I will be. Let me take it off. You can mute your audio there. All right, please. Whoever is having their microphone on Telegram can put it off now, please. Z, please. All right. So the fact of the matter is, the name of Jesus have nothing to do with what you went to Obaluaye for. When you were speaking about Obaluaye, I was going to ask that are you going through some kind of sickness or ailment? Because Obaluaye is also known as Shokmana, and it is the energy that ward off plague. Remember, whenever I tell you that an energy can do what is good, we can also manipulate to do what is evil. So chicken pox, smallpox, all those things, all those this problem that happens to children when they are. So there are some things Obaluaye are used to keep there. Obaluaye is actually one of the skill or discovery of or sewing, which is the the herbalism aspect of African spirituality. But for them to mention Jesus after the whole thing, that shows that they are one of the people who are creating menace in our midst. I saw a video recently of a certain man who said in front of his building is a church that is headed by his son. At the back of the building is a shrine that is headed by him. That whatever that cannot be solved in the front of the building, they bring it to the back of the building. That even the people who are coming to that church knows that he, as the father of the pastor, is doing that behind. So they always, sometimes they just come to him straight, sometimes and people that comes to him also go to fellowship in that place. And I felt that is wrong. And if you want to be Oshaka, be Oshaka. If you want to be Oshoko, be Oshoko. Don't be here and there at the same time. Even the Jesus said that you can't be lukewarm. Just have to pick your side. These are the people that are creating menace in our midst. And that's one of the topics I thought we'll be talking about along. This one of the valid question and valid experience I wanted us to share. The people who try to mingle African spirituality with the religion of the Vedas are one of the people that will mess everything up in the future for our children. Because those are the people that try to explain Jesus out of Ifa. They also try to explain Muhammad out of Ifa. I'm going to take this time to tell you something. You will hear a lot of Babalawo out there. They will tell you that Jesus is the same as Jewelsun. There is a certain Odu under Ejogbe that talks about a certain person called Jewelsun. And the Jewelsun, I would have gone ahead to do the recitation of the Odufa for you, but I wouldn't. Jewelsun was going through problem in life. And they said, so that the people of the world don't see the end of Jerusalem untimely, he need to make some sacrifice. Because Jerusalem is the firstborn of Olodumare. I want us to listen quite keenly so that we don't get distracted from Telegram. They say Jerusalem is the firstborn of Olodumare. Okay, what or who is Olodumare? Olodumare is the solar system, the sun up there. Now, every single day brings about photosynthesis. Now, in Yoruba language, Jewosun means that don't let the leaf sleep or the plant sleep. Jewosun means that let the plant sleep. It's the same spelling, same letter, but different pronunciation. We have Jewosun and Jewosun. Don't let the plant sleep. Let the plant sleep. Now, we believe that every single morning, the day comes with solar system and allows the solar system create photosynthesis for the plant. And in this way of life, we don't pluck the leaf or the plant for other purpose until it is 7 a.m. in the morning. And as soon as it is 6 p.m. in the evening, we stop plucking leaves for other purpose because we believe that they also go to sleep. If it is an emergency, we have some ritual and some few words we have to say before we can pluck leaves or plants for medicinal purpose. So we believe that every single day that breaks through the solar system is J. Wilson. The day is J. Wilson. The day is J. Wilson. Kò J. Wilson àti J. Wilson the same thing ni wọ́n. So they try to explain it and say it's Jesu. I don't know how J. Wilson and Jesu mix together. And for this particular miseducation, a lot of all these herbalists, Babalawo, began to embrace Jesus and begin to say, okay, he's also in the farm. They will also go and say Shetiu, which is from the Islamic folks, is the same as Ifa. Now, here is a brief story for you. There is such a people called the Quraysh people. The Quraysh people worship the moon as their god. They are found in Saudi Arabia. The same QUA and R that started the word Korean is the same thing that is the name of that tribe. The tribe happens to be where the Saudis come from. Their god is the moon god. Now, the Quraysh people have a system of divination also. I hope we are listening. If you can't hear me anymore, let me know. But if you are listening, let me see your yes. They have their system of divination. And the system of divination of the Quraysh people is called Shetiu. Now, this Shetiu is the way whereby they know if they should go further or not. From the time immemorial, do not get this wrong. It is not only African people that have a system of divination. Don't be too proud of yourself. Don't think too highly of yourself. Each tribe of the world have their system of divination, either to go or not to go. It is our own system of divination that we abbreviated into IFA called IFA. So their system of divination is called Shetiu. They have a way of finding out from the universe where to go or not to go. They were only able to integrate it into Islam of today. Then you now go back to the old Roman people also, the Rome people, the Jewish people. When you go to their Bible, I hope you know that it was the Roman people that started Christianity. And the Jewish people were part of African Archebulan as a continent before. The whole of Archebula as a continent was expanding to even beyond Jordan to Saudi Arabia, a major part of what we call Middle East now. It was through the instrument of extermination, ethnic cleansing, that they invaded those lands and stayed in. So we have left that for them. From Mediterranean downward here, we chose to stay. Do you know that the Ethiopians, the current Ethiopians, those light-skinned Ethiopians are not Africans? When you meet a real Ethiopian, what's the name of that king? Is he a Selassie or whatever? They will tell you that they are Jews, lost tribe of Israel. There's a lot of twist and plot and coup d'etat that is happening in Africa that you don't know. The Algerians, the Tunisians, the current Egyptians are not one of us. But let's leave that here there. So the Greek have their system of divination. When you go to the Bible, you will see them saying they casted Lot. They casted Lot. I'll give you a few examples. There was a guy called, what's his name? Is it Jacob? When he went to his uncle's house, Laban, when he wanted to live by force, Laban said, I have learned through divination that God is blessing me because of you. What type of divination system did he use? At least he wasn't practicing the religion of Abraham. Are we opening our eyes? Can we see what is going on there? So I say, when you want to get out of a chain, you need to study the chain very well. Now, when you also look further, there was a time this particular guy called Saul, they say it was their first king. He made a decree that nobody should eat. His son, Jonathan, Remember, I'm very, very careful when I'm mentioning their name. I don't say J, I say he. His son, Jonathan, was not there. He went to it and they lost the battle. He felt that was why, because he has created a life in the atmosphere. When he was going to know who actually ate something, he had to cast lot, a system of divination, to find out who actually did that. And the Lord denied. And when you also go further, anytime this guy called David, remember, don't forget, I'm not saying V. I didn't say V. I say we. Whenever David want to go to battle, he will always say, "Bring me the effort." He will cast lot. He will inquire. It wasn't inquiry by way of a voice coming from heaven and saying, "Go, don't go." No, he was using lot, a system of divination. Those are the people that cause you demonic because you go to Ifana. There was nothing like Jesus in those times. Now you can go on and on and on and on and on and on like that. The Urim and Turim that has to be a very important part of their priest cloth. What do you think is happening there? So you say that's in the Old Testament. A brief guy of a guy called Jonah. Jonah was sent to Nineveh because I read the Bible very well. When the energy of water began to trouble them, they had to do what? They also had to cast a lot. You will say that's Old Testament, but now go into New Testament. They say a certain Judas Iscariot, who betrayed Jesus, is dead. They needed to replace Judas. What did the disciple do? I'm asking. What did the disciple do? They casted lot again, a system of divination to be able to replace another person to make it 12 again. This system of divination spread across. You go to the Akan people in Ghana, they call it Afa in their own side there. It is there in Cotonou, it is there in Togo, it is all white. Everybody have their system of divination. But for our people to constantly trace other people's way of life into our Ifa so that we can be a second-class citizen and be reasoning like them is what is very, very wrong. Very, very wrong. And I'm going to be saying to you, Bashi, that was a very wrong step for that person to have taken. They know Jesus have no power over that shrine. But sometimes most of them do it because they know most of their clients are practicing the religion of the Vedas and they don't want to offend them. I have a man who is also an Oluwo. When you go to his shrine, he will say, Selu Anarubi, praise the Lord. He will say all the three. Not because he's going to church, but because he knows that of all these things, I want to know which one you are going to respond to. He's just taking register to know. Many times I am with him and then you see pastors being brought to him for healing. They will be there permanently. In his bush, they will be there. They will still be reading their Bible and still be doing this thing. And he'll be telling them, don't forget your covenant here. When you leave this place, don't go to your church and say, Master Jesus did it. Remember, here is where we are, and we are drinking Gary over the name of that Lord Jesus. He couldn't help you. You had to come to us. So there are people who have not grown balls. That's part of the menace that we are going through here in African spirituality. I'll use the moment to also address the people regarding my own path. I was talking about a certain message that was sent to me of a person who felt I sent. You're welcome, Bashi. Thank you. Who said I sent the message to her sister and said the message reads, Aboruboye, how are you today? I pray may the ancestor guide you, bless your way, and grant you your heart desire. I'm very sorry for using text to distract you. I don't message randomly, my beloved. Your ancestor appeared to me earlier today and want me to get you deeply connected to them. I'm very powerful. I'm a very powerful priest and I'm a spiritual healer. I'm from Oyo, where all the source of spirituality originated. And your ancestor also revealed something to me about you. That's why I contacted you. Now, this person is asking me Baba, are you the one who sent this thing to my sister? First of all, I don't know this person's sister. Second of all, it is very wrong if you receive this kind of message. A babalawo is not meant to come to you. Your ancestor cannot suddenly appear to somebody who does not know your first name nor your mother's name. Do you know the importance of your mother's name? That's the password to your Ori. So somebody cannot just bump into your email, bump into your inboxes on the internet and claim to be a babalawo. You should make him out as a fraud. That's one of the menaces we are trying to correct. Of all these men who hide under keypad and begin to say, when they are not celestial people are the one who goes randomly and begin to look for who to deliver message for. You will come to babalawo. And I told the person now, look at it. I have hundreds of people who will lay me when they see me online. Baba, you have not replied my message. Baba, you have not. People are calling me and asking me for work to do for them. I have not finished it. When will I have time to start messaging people randomly? So a person who does not know your first name or your mother's first name cannot possibly know anything about you spiritually. Not to mention that he is now saying he was sent to you. You see, we must be very careful. These people know that a lot of people are embracing African spirituality and they will do anything to maroon themselves and mess it up. So such a thing is a red flag. I also want to mention regarding the women abuse, since a lot of us are not talking about the things we have been through in the hand of the African spiritualist. That's the essence of today's uh, meeting. The women abuse. There is no babalawo who will be ordered by Ifa or the ancestor to use his penis to deliver you from anything. Now, hear me strongly. It is possible, very possible, that when you meet a babalawo and babalawo meet you, both of you like each other. That is outside spirituality. That one is emotion. If he likes you and he asks you out, and you say yes from your own volition, that is something that is permitted. But a babalawo cannot say that the ancestors or if I ask him to sleep with you for your problem to be gone. Women, listen to me now so that you don't go from frying pan to fire. Under any I'm going to be reiterated, under any circumstances, should you meet a babalawo who tells you that in order to get out of a certain problem, him as a babalawo must have sex with you, and his sperm is one spiritual sperm that will cleanse all your spiritual husband away. Run. Oh. See, if you and that babalawo, you like yourself, you can go to him for job. He works for you. And you guys like each other. Book hotel, enjoy yourself. Àtayébáyé lobìnrin àtọkùnrin tí ń gbádùn ara wọn. Doesn't mean that because it's babalawo, it cannot fancy you. And the funny thing is that babalawo are not under the tie of your European mentality that you must have one wife, one husband. No. He can marry as many wives as he wants to, as long as he takes care of them and his yes is yes to all of them. But is that possible for you to love two people at the same time? So a man should be very reluctant to take on such a responsibility. But if he can, why not? However, he cannot say that if I have said you are my wife, so therefore I will marry you. He likes you is he likes you. And I'm telling those who are going to embrace this way of life in the future that come, it is normal for you to fancy a person. Even if you are the woman and you come to the babalawo and you like him, don't say because he's in one spiritual stool. Shoot your shot. That may be your husband. Are you listening to me? And if you are also a babalawo and you like a person, do not victimize them with your spiritual power and say they must be your sex slave. Treat them well, but don't ever bring a fire into it. Don't ever bring the Orishas into it. Do what you have to do with yourself, but also face the problem they came to you for. So no Orisha, no deity, no ancestor will advise one person or tell somebody that they must sleep with you before anything. There may be work that you and your spouse might want to do together. There may be jobs that they might give to you and they say, okay, you must have somebody who you love or you are dating or somebody must help you to use it. Maybe you now did not have. You now asking that, Baba, can you help me? Iya, can you help me? Sir, can you help me? And he said, okay, let me see if I can help you or not. You people, that's your problem. But he cannot have any right over you when it comes to your sexuality. Keep yourself. Are you getting my point? Now, there are some other Babalawo out there also who will forever, because it's not everybody that have business with Ifa divination or becoming Babalawo. But because they want you to give them that monthly salary, and by the means of that, tell you that you have to enter into Ifa. One Shefa Fund, they will now put you into induction of Ifa. And because they have almost the physical representation of your divine being in their care, they begin to tell you that they need to buy a phone today, that they need to pay their school fees tomorrow. See, let me tell you something. It is wrong. It is a wrong practice for a Babalawo to put his expenses on you. You are under no obligation to be the one who fund the lifestyle of your Babalawo. If you like, let him remove Ashe, let him go and do betu. It cannot work on you. If you have money to give to your Babalawo as an appreciation, if what he's doing for you is making sense, you can take care of him. But he must not be the one who come to you and ask and give you tasking or give you tax and say, my son is going to school, come and send them. Take this one and help me. No, it is wrong. There are people who uses the Ifa initiation to string people down, and we must correct them at all costs. When you approach any, I'm not saying all of you should come to me. If you reach out to any Babalawo and you have this trait in them, please run. This is the reason why for me, I charge for my divination token. For the time you are going to send me around, for the time you are going to do this, for the time you are going to talk to me. People wake me up in the midnight because they want to talk. Okay, you have paid for my time. I have to be awake for you. So when you pay divination token, I don't ask you for any more thing, except if I give you prescription and you need to buy item. And I know my people, they know me too. Having paid divination token, if I tell them that the item we need to buy is 120, some of them will even send 119, expecting me to add the one naira to it. Some, it is exactly the 120. Okay, will I use Google or will I use Amazon robot to take the item from one place to the other? Or the people that are working for me, will I use my teeth to mobilize them? People don't put that into consideration, and I don't bother them because they have done enough already. So when you see a man who is coming to put his own family problem on you because it's your Babalawo, it's not real. Those are the menaces I think we should be correcting and we should be bringing out during our journey into African spirituality. I'd like to stop there for now. Z, please take over. Hello, Z, are you there?
Sorry about that. My audio went off. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but you are talking from a distance.
No, hear you.
Oh. Is it clearer now?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Thank you, Baba, for that. The next person that can come up now is Troni. I don't know if I said that correctly. So you come up and
thank you.
hello,
Yes,
Troni.
can everyone hear me? Good evening.
Good evening, go ahead.
Yeah. I think we all got the point or the discussion wrong from the way Baba Yoruba described it. I think we've all been talking about different things, but I'll just talk about what I assumed we're meant to talk about. So I grew up in a family where Christianity was practiced, but it was seen more as a way of socializing. So my parents never took Christianity that serious. And my father is from a Muslim family, but he became a Christian, and he had a lot of Babalawos in his family as well. So growing up, we used to go to an Anglican church, and it was just a Sunday affair. But I went to boarding school in Nigeria, whereby I was introduced into Christianity, and there was the issue of being born again and things like that. So I took it to a different level from my parents. So I think when I was in SS1, my father was asked to be a KBC in one of the villages in Ondo State, and he accepted. And then I realized that he was bringing his uncle over to do some incision. I think it's called beret. And we're all, as children, we're all kicking against it that it was demonic. Why would you be given doing incision on us? It's against the Bible, it's demonic and things like that. And then growing up as well, I noticed that anytime there is a serious problem with someone in the family, an extended family or immediate family, my parents will run to their my daddy's uncle, who is the Babalawo, to do some divination, then they will do some burial, they will do some sacrifice and things like that. And then that went on. I became my own person and I continued with my Christianity. But my husband and I will often wonder, why is it that um, the pastors always brainwash us and then they tell us to do things we don't question? Maybe because our generation, when we grew up, we never asked questions. Anything we were told was yes. Anything we were told was yes or no. So we started asking questions, questioning each other, wanting to know more about what were our forefathers doing before the event of Christianity or the event of Islam. There must be something we were doing that was right. And then in the Bible, I noticed that the only African country that was mentioned in the Bible was Egypt, and it was associated with evil. And I've always thought, where did African people come from? Africans were never mentioned in the Bible. Adam and Eve were white, so how did we evolve? Where did we come from? Then it took me time to just understand until when I'm a teacher in the children's church, and then some of the kids started asking me questions that I had no answer to, questions I never thought of myself, and I started thinking, wow, these kids must be so intelligent. Maybe I haven't really read the Bible well, and I'll go back to the Bible looking for answers that were not there. Then all of a sudden, I think my husband is a great fan of Franklin, and I listen to a lot of things on YouTube as well. And I've seen Baba Yoba on that Phrases platform when he was talking about his experience in the Reading Bible School. Then there was one evening, I think my husband was on live on Franklin's platform, and he told me, you need to go to Franklin's platform. There is a man there talking about African spirituality, the question we've always been asking, we need to learn. When I said Baba Yoba, I was saying to my husband, I know him, I've seen him before. And I tried to explain to him that he used to be a Muslim, he's a Christian. How come he's talking about African spirituality? So that got me more curious. I just wanted to learn. So I just started the journey myself and trying to learn. I've been speaking to some of my friends, and some of them have been telling me, I think you need to reset your mentality. There's something wrong with you. You're backsliding. So I've got teenagers. I've got two sons. One of them, I have a 16-year-old that is very inquisitive as well. So he hears myself and my husband talking openly about African spirituality. And today he said to me, Mom, you're going to hell. And I said, why? He said, because you just said to me in African spirituality, we don't believe in sky God. And you're telling me there is no God, there is no Jesus. I think you're really going to hell. Stop listening to this bullshit you hear on the internet. And there's something actually wrong with you. I'm feeling so sorry for you. I think I'm going to call the pastor to come and pray for you. There's something wrong with you. And I was a bit torn apart when Patrick said his own daughter was the one talking to him about African spirituality. And I feel really bad because I think I haven't done well as a parent, because I thought I was doing the right thing by taking my children to church for them to learn about Christianity. But now I feel so guilty because it's even difficult for me to explain to my son that I think it is, I believe what I've told you is wrong, and this is the way to go. So, yeah, that's just me. And I know it's going to be a difficult journey. I know people will castigate me. People will tell me I'm crazy, but I'm just here to learn. I want to know more. I want to know the right way to do it, the right way to speak to my children and let them know what the truth is. Even the same Bible says, when you know the truth shall set you free. I just want to set them free. I want to be free as well. Thank you. That's me.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Z. Let me quickly add something to that. Thank you, Dotroni, for that. We would like to encourage you not to feel downcasted because you didn't know any better. That was how you train up your child. And some children are not easily broken. For a child to look at you in the face that you are going to hell, that means he or she is a very strong believer in what they have been doctored to believe, and they have a great potential, because if they stumble on this truth that you have stumbled upon also, That's the same way they are going to go all out for it and also be able to convince themselves about it. We parents must know that there's such an age called the age of hypnosis for the children from age 0 to 7. They are watching us, they are hearing us, they are studying us to make up an hypothesis which they will live the rest of their life with. It is only children who are quite rebellious at that age, who are opinionated at that age, that are hardly being doctored and adulterated into thinking the way we think. Uh, some of these children are sometimes seen as maybe autistic. They can be unusually silent and quiet. They don't really relate with people much. They are slow in speech and they just don't go the way of others. The easiest diagnosis for them in West is that they are autistic or whatever, but they are pragmatic. They are not falling in line with the world system. What you think is normal is not normal to them. They have a different kind of IQ. It is hard for them to fall in line with you. And in their formative age, they reason, even though they don't talk to you about it, even though they don't ask you questions, they are curious, they are unsatisfied. So when they grow up, they are able to know the right way. And I want you to know that even though it is your duty as a parent to show your children the way, it is not your duty as a parent to force anything on them, either spirituality or religion. The best way they can get that is through your life as an illumination that they can see, okay, what this person is saying is working for them. And so far, so good. They have been able to make headway in this way. They will also begin to retrace their steps. And that's the reason why we are creating African Spirituality Masterclass, for us to be able to know how to live as a family who believe in one thing and also practice the same thing. Don't beat yourself down. There is still hope for that child. Just allow them to grow at their own pace. There are a lot of adults who are even more funny than that child of yours. Thank you very much. Z, please take over.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Thank you very much, Baba Yoba. And Dotrani, I wanted to say, add to what Baba Yoba said, you're by no means a bad mother. You haven't failed at anything. You've come to a realization, a crossroads, and that's the first step. And just be mindful of your wording. The journey will be challenging. You've heard some of the things that Baba Yoba has been through, and look where he is today. So it's important that saying difficult, challenging means it will be rewarding, and absolutely will be. But try not to use things like difficult, because what you put out there will manifest. So can we please have Ola? I know you've been sitting on already all evening. Please step up and share. Remember that you're sharing, some of some experiences you've had with IFA before encountering this platform.
Yeah. Àbọ̀rọ̀bọ̀ fún Babaláwo. I greet all the Orishas in the house. My name is Ola. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to speak to everybody in the house. I grew up in a Christian home, and all I knew was Christianity while I was growing up, and all through my university education in Nigeria, then before I came to Europe. Because all what my mother had introduced us to was Christianity. But I learned my mother's father was Agbomola. I think he died about 2-3 months after I was given birth to. So I barely know anything about him. And I think because of Christianity, nobody in my mother's family actually took after him. So everybody became Christian, and the whole thing was kind of eradicated. So I've always had some curiosity within me that some things were not quite right. Because whenever I was facing challenges, living when I was in Nigeria, and I prayed Jesus Christ, I realized that things don't work. But when I decided that I wasn't going to pray, that I see some changes, then I discussed with some friends, and they would tell me, oh, that point was that the devil was trying to tempt you, that when you don't pray, they interfere as if things happen. Well, that's not true. So I came to Europe with the mentality. I did have a master degree in Europe. Then, with another friend from Cameroon, started a startup company in Germany where I live. And things were so tough. Things appeared to be going smoothly in the beginning, but after some time, they were not clients, and I needed to pay tax, I needed to feed myself, I needed to pay rent and all those things. It was so difficult. And because I belong to the European Satellite Mission Network, the Copernicus mission, so I used to travel to Brussels to do this business. So I meet the top people in Europe. I've been to the European Parliament, and I believe that with all this connection, something should have happened. And then I began to talk to some certain friends who told me, oh, I needed to pray more. The time I traveled to Nigeria, I spent a whole month in one particular church, this so-called real key, praying, spent a lot of money, borrowed money, nothing happened. Then they introduced me to the African way of. Then I met a lot of Babalawo who even was like they take money from you, they be telling you that the problem was the people in your father's house, they've seen your glory, they want to kill you and all those things. So I even traveled to Iraq where I met one popular Yoruba Babalawo, so-called Babalawo. I wouldn't mention his name, but I think people who are from Nigeria may know him. This guy has even featured in some own video. He calls himself, he has made claim that he has control over all the Orishas in the whole world. And I met this guy. This guy did some trick, Abamoda. So, this guy told me to go and bring 400 cows to make sacrifice for a bull, which I left him. Then I went to Ilopo, met another Babalawo. They also took some money from me. But after all this, I realized that nothing changed. There was no progress, nothing was changing. I met some in Ife also, and this now gave me discouragement. But I felt like, okay, being in this crisis, nothing seems to be working. And people suggested I should try our own way. But it seemed as if I was just throwing money into the river. Because then I was even borrowing. But there was only a time that even a friend that was living in Nigeria, he works in Chevron. The guy borrowed me $3,000, which I also wasted on all these things. So because of that, I lost faith in this African way of. But one thing I just want to encourage us is that when the universe is speaking to us, even when we think that we've wasted our time or even lost something, I think at the right time, all those knowledge will have a way to compensate us. Because my interaction during that period made me to realize that all of these people, Babalawo, Pastor, and Afa, they are connected. Because during all those periods, like a period of almost 3 years, I was always traveling to Nigeria trying to do conspiration. Then I found myself on some WhatsApp platform where they share information. And I realized that people in most of those WhatsApp platforms were always Babalawo, Pastor, and Afa. So, and this made me to lose faith in all of them. That they are all the same. And these people don't really have solution. They were also looking for a way to feed their own children or to even take care of themselves. Then I still continue to go to my church, but I really don't bother myself so much that I don't even really know this about me. And less than 2 months ago, there was this awakening within me. From nowhere, I had this awakening within me that I began to put out of my mind that, okay, the best thing is just to focus on myself, to ask myself. And that was the period I watched Baba Yoba, one of his YouTube video where he was speaking with this man from one white guy from US. They were talking about the black supremacy. And I was like, wow, who is this man that seemed to have so much knowledge? That I began to watch some of his video. They were so enlightening and uplifting. The way he was speaking that, no, you don't need to subject yourself to any babalawo. That the best thing is for you to understand yourself, but you can always consult Ifa, because if you go to Ifa, you are still going to be the one to solve your own problem. Because even if you go there, then you don't do what he asks you to do, that nothing's going to change. Then the way he was shedding light to this way of life made me to realize that, wow, maybe the people I was going to were probably not the right one. But I was still kind of skeptical. One, that I also don't have the financial strength at that time to also say I want to consult him. But he did something which was a validation of what I was going through, the revolution I was going on in my own life. He was able to make me validate that way. Maybe I'm on the right path. Then I even wrote him on WhatsApp that just to thank him that I watched his video and it was very uplifting. I really appreciate him and that. So what I just want to say is that through him, I've come to be liberated. And through him, I've come to discover myself. And I can tell you that things that I've spent so many years trying to figure out, within the last 2 months that I began to search within, there's been a lot of transformation. And I'm even hoping that not too long, like God willing, maybe in the next 2 months or so, I would even like to share some of my testimony with him personally, because he has really helped me. And because of him now, I have the confidence to go to the park in the night, to speak to nature, but this confidence is there now. They are no longer afraid of the witches like what they used to say. They are afraid of vision. I instead call upon these energies, and I think they have been working for me. I wouldn't like to keep others that are waiting to also share their own experience. So this is what I have to say. And we also want to encourage us that we should be careful the type of people that call themselves alone in Nigeria. There are a lot of fraudsters, and I think we are just fortunate that we come to know Baba Yoba, because I believe he's one in million. I'm not saying it because he's there. I also believe that if we have, well, I wouldn't say that he's the only one, but if we have a couple of, maybe about 2-3 people like him in Nigeria that are very vocal, that they have platform and they are sharing knowledge, I'm sure that it's not going to take long before this way of life becomes the norm. And because he's able to shed light and make us to realize that we are what we are looking for. And the demonization of this way of life is purely out of ignorance. And if anybody's going to make it in life or be at peace within yourself, you need to embrace this way of life. And not by saying you are running to anybody. The first thing is to seek to understand yourself and venerate the ancestor. And I believe that everything we are looking for, we are going to find them. Thank you to everyone for giving me this opportunity to share my own experience.
Thank you very much for that, Ola. I just want to say to everyone who shared, thank you for your bravery and your passion. But the queue is now closed. I'm sorry if you didn't get to share this occasion. I will do better in the future to manage time so everyone who's keen will be considered and accommodated to share. Baba Yoba, I'm going to hand over back to you. There were about 3 people left, but I'm aware we're short on time. So apologies again to the last 3 who didn't get to share.
All right, thank you very much, Z. Thank you, everybody who attended this shrine session. We apologize to those who are not able to share this particular shrine session. I'm sure that Z will note their name down, and they will be the first sharer in our next shrine session. Now, I would like to add few things to what we have learned so far today. I know for sure that there could be a sort of fear factor in most of us, and that may be the reason why we are not really speaking all out about the abuses and so many other scamming stuff that we have been through in the hand of the even African spiritualist. Because I always liken myself to a two-edged sword. If I'm talking to the invaders, I'm also talking to the insiders. My aim is to ensure that all mankind live fully to the proportion of their divine reality, and no one is taken for granted. I want to be able to multiply the knowledge in as many people as possible, so that the greetings at Boruboye is not only directed to me, but to each and every one of us. So in each household, we have the, the man of the house who is Ibabalao, and the woman of the house who is Iyanifa, and their children are fully Orishas. So they can stand upright everywhere and defend themselves. Note that the fact that we are talking about African spirituality does not say that we should not excel in other area of life too. You can practice African spirituality and be an engineer, astronaut. You can be all the things the universe wants you to be, including knowing yourself. But the problem is that most people are in other people's profession because they don't know who they are. The act of knowing yourself is what African spirituality entails, not you making sacrifices endlessly and bowing down to trees or graven image. Bí wọ́n bá ń pèèyàn lólè, kọ́ mọ̀ gbọ́mọ ẹran jó. If they call you a thief, don't play with their lambs. Even if you are playing with, they will think you want to steal it. So if they have already said you are idol worshiper, don't prove them right. You are more intelligent than cutting down a tree and bowing to it. I'm going to say this to you. When you also go to any babalawo and they ask you to bow down to the graven image of one thing that he has put his palm oil and all that, know that he doesn't know what he's saying. He's taking you back into the frying pan and fire that you are coming out from. But if he teach you how to speak to your ori, if there's anything to bow to, it should be yourself. So when we say you should bow to Ifa, we are not saying you should bow to that plate and the powder and the divination rope. No, we are saying bow to yourself. The intensity of evil you can do is what they call Satan, if it ever exists. The intensity of good you can do is what you should know as God. Everything happens within you: joy, sorrow, happiness, sadness, hell, heaven. Everything happens within you. If you don't make it happen, it's not going to happen. So, this way of life is you creating the life you want. Create your own reality. There is so much space for you to become an active Orisha while you are still alive now. And let no one take you for granted. And I'm not saying this because I want you to come to me. If you go to others and they are doing malpractices with you, you can cross-check with me. I will tell you if this person is genuine or not. And if any point in time I also fall short of most of these things I'm saying, don't be ready to remind me and call me out. So I'm saying today that if you have to go all personal with a babalawo, let him sign a legal paper for you. Please, I would like to repeat it again. Do not trade your sexuality for a babalawo, except you both like each other on a romantic level and move on with it. But if you have to go anywhere else further with him and personal with him, let him sign a legal paper. Let there be an existing understanding within you and let him be liable. And please start dealing with those who have their name registered, who have their institution registered so that they can sue and be sued also. Maybe if we take it from that aspect, it will take these people another minute to consider that they are liable for litigation. And as I always tell people, uh, Knowledge and literacy pay, which we operate upon for now, we pay tax to the federal government of Nigeria, and we have a document with EFCC. If at any point in time you think I have duped you, go and open a case file with EFCC. Whatever we have dealt with together, we will explain ourselves to them. That is as transparent and as honest as I want to deal with you. But you see, your African spirituality or your own spirituality is not limited to what your Babalawo told you. The universe is beckoning on you. The universe wants to speak to you too. The universe wants you to speak for others too. The universe wants to make you also an oasis of knowledge, wisdom. But how many of us are ready to allow that time, sacrifice our sleep time, sacrifice even our subconscious? So many of them, when the universe visits us, either in our bathroom, in our darkness, or whatever, we get so scared and we still keep on looking for those who will do divination for us. Can you just keep quiet or just shut up for a moment and listen to what the universe is trying to pass across to you? There is no devil pursuing you anywhere. Satan is not against you. Satan is for those who go to church. Hell and heaven is for those who go to church. You are the son of the soil. I didn't say son of the soil. I said you are the son, sun, of the soil. You are the only thing that make fertility possible. You are the one that create germination. You are the multiplication. You are the light. You are the sun. You are the solar system yourself. Don't be scared of your source. You need to learn how to be resourceful. March yourself back to your beginning, your origin. Learn how to take time out with nature. Don't be too loud. Not all music are for you. Not all parties are for you. Sometimes you need to keep quiet and get into the wild. Go on the mountain. Be at the riverside. There is something nature want to talk to you about. The reason why people keep taking you for granted is because you allow them to do it all for you. So a man who thinks you cannot breathe, you cannot live without him is just surely going to take you for a ride. That's the reason why you make your spiritualists rich. You make your pastors rich because you don't want to pay the time. You don't want to pay the price of it, getting rid of the ignorance. The only ignorance there is between you and the universe is the ignorance of learning how to keep quiet. If only we learn how to keep quiet, we realize that no one can ever lie to you. I've had the testimony over and over again when somebody comes for divination, I speak to them about themselves and they say they have nowhere else to hide because even things they are still thinking about, I'm able to say it. How did I do that? Majority, 99% of people I've worked for in my life, I've never met them in person. But there is validation and reality, and then there is possibility when they obey the voice of the universe. How did I get to that place? I want you to be there too. I want to recreate and multiply myself. I want you all to take charge of yourself. So we don't have to make this a wastage of time. We are not creating an idol for you to worship again. We are making you become the idol. If there's anything to worship, worship the goodness in you and the evil in you. Know when to appropriate both and to whom to appropriate it to. I really love all of you, even though I've not met most of you. And I know there's going to be a time for us to still meet, have our own conference from continent to continent, country to country, village to village, town to town, where we'll be able to meet in flesh and in blood. But pending that time, you are an Orisha. You are the God you are looking for. Stop looking into the sky for what is right inside of you. Stop praying for what you already have. Create things. Wake up every morning with the motivation that you are the creator of your own happiness. Live consciously so that you don't become an instrument of accident. Live consciously. Live consciously. And African spirituality give you the avenue to be in that consciousness. If anyone speak to you about something else, is a liar. African spirituality is about you knowing yourself. So I'm using the medium to tell you a good news that we have actually expanded the African Spirituality Masterclass, the number of students who want to take in. You still can go to www.babayoruba.org/sign up for you to create a profile as a student with us, pay the right tuition fee, and join the class come 1st of May. Is it May we are, or is it April? 1st of April. This is March, right? February, March, April. 1st of April, uh, or the 3rd of April to 1st of May. We're going to start the class. You'll be able to learn more about yourself and learn the similarity between all of African nations and African people as a race. I want you to be free and be free indeed. I've been through the nonsense of the region of invaders. I've been taken for granted. I've been destroyed by them. I've been betrayed by them. I wouldn't want you to go through that in African spirituality. So be on your guard and watch out for all these fake people who are bringing in menaces in our midst. Thank you very much for being part of this particular program tonight. And really appreciate you. We hope that will be more than this next time. We are 101 members in Telegram. We are a little bit about 10 in Clubhouse. Please, those who are using iPhone or Clubhouse, try your best to download Telegram and come to Telegram so that we can be together at the same time. Thank you very much for those who are joining us also on YouTube. We are sorry that the audio is low. We will invest more money in the technical aspect of it. Thank you. Z, want to say something? I'm done.
Thank you for that, Baba. I just wanted to say a huge thank you and blessings to each and every Orisha on here. Your energies are amazing and you're phenomenal. For everyone who got to share, some things got lost in translation. When we get up and we have an opportunity to speak, we all wax a little bit. It's not bad, but it can be, it can affect other people speaking, but we're working on it. It's a learning curve. And I'll do my very best next time to make sure that I manage the time and keep everyone paying attention to how long they take. And that's all I just wanted to continue to encourage everyone. And again, we need to be mindful of the words we use. Saying things like it's gonna be difficult. No, it'll be challenging. We'll have challenges, but after every challenge is a reward. This I know for sure. This journey will be rewarding for all of us because we've come home as African children. You all have an amazing evening wherever you are in any part of the world. And I'm sure it's probably different time zones. And yes, so that's all for now. Until you join us again, same time next Sunday at the shrine, my monthly gathering. Baba, if you want to close out, I don't have anything else to say.
All right. Ire lójú owó rí o, kójú wa ó máa ríre. Ire lobìnrin ń jẹbọ̀ lábọ̀ ọjà, ká máa jèrè bọ̀ ní gbogbo ohun tá a bá dá wọlé. Àtiwọlé wa, àtijáde wa, ká má fẹsẹ̀ kọ o. Ká má ṣorí gbé, ká má ṣorí burúkú. Ká má fẹsẹ̀ lẹ̀, ká má fẹnu kọ. A ò ní sọ̀rọ̀ sọ́bòtò, a ò ní kó sí páńpẹ́ ayé. Àgbéjò àgbéyọ̀ báyìí ni là ń gbọ́mọ tuntun kọ́mọ aráyé ó máa gbé wa jó kí wọ́n máa gbé wa yọ̀. Àtòyìnbó àtàláwọ̀ dúdú ní gúúsù nílà oòrùn níwọ̀ oòrùn àtàrẹwá gbogbo ibikíbi tí wọ́n bá ti ń rí wa àwa dàgbéjó látòní lọ. Wọ́n ní ojú owó ìpọ́n dáadáa, ojú owó ò ní pọ́n tìbí tajà tọmọ wa o. Wọ́n wà ní bọ́ bàtà ọ̀fọ̀ sẹ́nu ọ̀nà ìkankan nù wa o. Wọn ò ní torí tiwa gbá kó sí idẹ o. Wọn ò ní gbé kòtò ọ̀fọ̀ ní kíákíá báyìí nítorí tiwa, a ò ní dẹni àgbégbìn o. Ayé wa dára, á lóyin, á ní gbọ̀ngbọ́nú. Ilẹ̀kùn ayọ̀ tọ́ta lóhùn tì ní gbogbo ibi tá a bá kọjú sí ni kí wọ́n ti máa bá wa ṣe o. A ò ní ṣorí burúkú. May we not be unfortunate in life. May our life be an epitome of blessing. Blessing at home, blessing abroad, blessing in the forest, blessing in the city, blessing in this continent and in diaspora. Blessing, blessing, blessing everywhere. When you are awake, may you receive blessing unexpected. When you are asleep, may the energy of blessing reside with you. In your consciousness and subconsciousness, may goodness find you. When you go to the north, may those who will help you be readily available for you. When you come to the south, may those who will take care of you be readily available for you. When you go to the west, may those who will fight for you be readily available. And in the east also, may those who will have your back always be at your disposal. When you now call one person, May 1,000 people answer to you. May your energy and aura draw good people towards you and repel bad people away from you. May you not regret a decision you make in your life. Anything you will lay your hands on that will return you back to the point zero and square nothing, may you not venture into it. Even if evil and calamity is selling for 1 kobo or 1 cent, may you be broke to buy it. When goodness is selling for millions of dollars upon trillions of dollars, may you be well richly available to acquire them. May you never, may you, àṣẹ la máa sọ àní sọ amen bí o, may you never regret in your life. Your children and their children after you will pour veneration unto you as a monumental ancestor. You will fight the battle of life and win over it. You will fight the challenges of life and win over it. When people come at you one way, they will also go back in several ways because the energy of victory will speak for you. Whatever people gather together to make recommendation and decision that has to do with you, even if there is one opportunity left, your name will be recommended for good. Your name will be recommended for good. May the energy of our ancestor gone, may the energy of our ancestor present come together to fight you, and may the spirit of wisdom, which is the universe itself, always reside on you, bliss on you, breathe on you, inspire you all the time. May you know the right word to say per time. May you know the right place to go per time. May you always find yourself in the right situation and knowing what to do at the time when you get to that situation. May the words of your mouth not be the greatest undoing of you. May you not be too proud for your helpers to help. May you not be too much for those who want to make life easy for you to locate. May you be found in the place where you will be relocated to your place of goodness. And we pray for all our mother. We decree upon their life. They say it's Mother's Day. Uh, as many fertility projects that you have done, as many multiplication that you have done, as many people that you have nurtured, as many things that you have put your hands on, may you not mourn over them and over it. Lágbára àwọn àlálẹ̀, ẹ ò ní ṣọ̀fọ̀ ọmọ, ẹ ò ní rí ohun gbé sọnù bí ò ṣe bí ọmọ. We pray for our wives, we pray for our daughters, that they will multiply in the order of the universe, and they will be all encompassing in the order of the universe. We pray for everyone who is having pregnancy, currently pregnant right now. I'll say that in Yoruba, àìgbẹ̀bù ewúrẹ́, àìgbẹ̀bí àgùntàn. Ewé ìjábọ́ lára igi kó nigi lára. Ẹja ìbímọ lálẹ́ odò kó lẹ́ja lára. Ọjọ́ ìkúnlẹ̀ yín ò ní ní lára o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti ń forúkún ọ̀tún kúnlẹ̀, ẹ mọ̀ fi tòsì dé. A mọ̀ gbóhùn ìyá, a mọ̀ gbóhùn ọmọ. The translation is this: nobody takes delivery of a goat. Nobody takes delivery of a sheep. Nobody takes delivery of a fish in the deep. Even when a leaf is getting off the tree, nobody notices it at all. When you go into the labor room, with your hand will you bring your baby out? And when we hear the baby's voice, hear the mother's voice, the father's voice will not be absent. We pray for all the single mothers among us, all the single fathers among us, a kind of person who will come together with you to raise a child that is of the order of the sun, shining bright in everywhere they go. May you meet such a person lórúkọ àwọn àlálẹ̀. Á dára fún wa o, a ò ní ṣorí gbé o. Èrè ní tiwa lọ́jọ́ gbogbo o. Tó yóò sì rí nù. Ó dìgbà kan náà o. Ó dàbọ̀. Ó dàbọ̀.
Have a lovely evening, everyone. Thank you, Baba, for those wonderful prayers.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for